in recognition of Noida's triumphant trajectory as one of India's fastest growing cities. CRC Group organized a knowledge forum on the growth story of Noida. The gathering brought together influential figures from both the public and private sectors to engage in a thoughtful discourse, shedding light on the city's resounding success story and the myriad possibilities it holds for sustained growth and development.
Ladies and gentlemen, नोएडा आज रियल इस्टेट और एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के नज़रिए से आज पूरे विश्व में एक अग्रणी पोजीशन बना चुका है। यहाँ का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, यहाँ के इंस्टीट्यूशंस, यहाँ की रोड, यहाँ के पार्क, यहाँ के इंडस्ट्रीज़ और एयरपोर्ट अनाउंस होने के बाद यहाँ पे चार चांद लग गए हैं। आज सभी जगह से लोग माइग्रेट करना चाहते हैं इस जगह पे और इसी टॉपिक के ऊपर हम लोग आखिर नोएडा की ग्रोथ स्टोरी इतनी सस्टेनेबल, इतनी अच्छे तरीके से जो हुई है उसके क्या कारण रहे हैं और आगे का पाथ, कितनी सिल्वर लाइनिंग, कितनी गोल्डन लाइनिंग, कितनी प्लैटिनम लाइनिंग आगे दिख रही हैं। इसी डिस्कशन पे बड़े बड़े विद्वान, हमारे इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, हमारे आईटी एक्सपर्ट्स, हमारे पॉलिटिकल सर्कल से लोग, हमारे अलग अलग समाज से सब लोग यहाँ पर आए हुए हैं। तो उसके ऊपर एक पैनल डिस्कशन के लिए हम सब यहाँ पे इकट्ठे हुए हैं। मैं एक बार पुनः आपका हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ।
Today we're talking about the growth story of Noida. There's a lot to be talked about. And talking about this are our experts. Rajat, we're talking about Noida, the growth story so far, and the future as you see it. If you could start with our conversation.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Rajat. I lead infrastructure and logistics for Genpact. It's been 8 years with Genpact, and we can clearly see that Genpact was, in 2015, was around 5,000 employees. Now we have 19,000 employees. That clearly indicates that Noida is growing. I moved to Noida in 2001. I stayed in 19, and we took a plot in 87. 1987 to 2023, I have seen Noida growing, and it's at a very fast pace. You talk about educational institutes, healthcare, basic infrastructure. Even Noida Authority have not thought then in so many years there'll be so much of population which will migrate to Noida. So I think with the announcement of Jewar Airport also, we see a lot of increase in the overall development of Noida. So I see there's a lot of potential.
And now let's come to Gopal Krishna Agarwal. He is actually setting a vision for Noida for 2030. And that will define how the future of Noida is going to be. So, sir.
Thank you, Jayashi ji. It's a wonderful feeling to be here among the people who are writing the growth story for Noida. And not only Noida, but for the whole Uttar Pradesh. What I see as Gautam Budh Nagar is that it will catalyze the growth not only for Uttar Pradesh, but Uttar Pradesh will also catalyze the growth for India. When Yogi ji says that we are at present contributing 8% of the GDP of the country, and we want to contribute 20% of the growth of GDP in the country. So the growth potential for Noida, Gautam Budh Nagar, particularly in Noida, is immense. Why? The infrastructure is very good. Because two growth drivers across the country are good infrastructure, connectivity is very important. Connectivity, eastern peripheral. Today you go from anywhere from Noida, eastern peripheral, western peripheral, Yamuna Expressway, Greater Noida Expressway, even Jewar Airport is coming, in, Dadri multimodal transportation. First multimodal transportation hub is coming in this Dadri. Then defense corridor from Kanpur to the is also passing through Noida. This freight corridor from Delhi, Bombay is moving through Noida. So infrastructure is very good. And the other potential for growth is we have land, we have water resources is sufficient. So when you talk about the growth story of Noida, I would like to say we have a strong growth story, but a much stronger growth story for the future.
That is a very strong direction that he has laid, and many threads here that we would like to pick up. So Vidur, I'll come to you. Quality of manpower, the amount of education, how you can get enough people, workforce, not only from the Gautam Budh Nagar, but also from the other parts of the state. So help us understand. You handle human resources, so help us understand how this helps.
Right. So there are several advantages of Noida which the world had not realized in the past. India had not realized in the past, and that was all being overshadowed by only one thing, which was the law and order situation. Everyone was scared of the law and order situation. So first, the government has made sure the law and order situation has changed. Infrastructure here has always been ahead of its time. It's planned infrastructure. So एक employee के standpoint से जब आप देखोगे उसको क्या चाहिए? उसको चाहिए मेरी cost of living अच्छी होनी चाहिए ताकि मेरी saving भी हो सके. There should be good education available for my children. Noida has a great education system. It's got pre-nurseries, great schools, great colleges. So in most cities, अगर आप all over the country देखेंगे, उनके पास सारा का सारा ecosystem अच्छा नहीं होता. Noida has everything available. Along with that, great government policies, both in manufacturing and IT. So coupled with all of these things, the real story of Noida has just begun. And there is a lot of leeway here, and over the next 8 to 10 years, there is nothing that is going to stop Noida from growing. The only thing that was lacking in Noida till now was an airport. वो भी आ रहा है. So I think we are on the right path. It just cannot get better than this.
Drawing that picture for Noida, for the residents is Salil, CRC. Where do you see Gautam Budh Nagar, say in the next short term, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years?
Let me tell you, today the generation next is preferring Noida like anything. Out of some of the area of Mumbai, if you forget. But the serious generation, they are preferring Noida for their Karam Bhumi, for industries, for living, for their future living, nice apartment housing. So when something has become the most preferred destination, like Gaurav said, data center, many IT companies, now airport is there, so when you do due diligence for the employees' welfare, you find, and business welfare as well, you rank Noida as a number one now, like Bangalore and Hyderabad. Noida is now the next preferred generation for the IT growth, industrial growth, and mental and wellness growth as well because of very decent living infrastructure. Because of these qualities, we are going to rank as number one, and as a CRC, we thought will contribute to the growth of Noida. We decided to make one of the best business park in entire Southeast Asia with many amenities and facilities so that which nation would be proud of.
Naveen ji, I'll come to you. As an industrialist, आपको क्या लगता है क्या facilitation में enhancement हुआ है?
अगर हम इंडस्ट्री के बारे में देखें तो यहाँ पर हर तरह का डेवलपमेंट इस तरह से हो रहा है कि पहले यहाँ पर रहने की सुविधा नहीं थी, आज रहने की सुविधा है. पहले यहाँ स्कूल्स नहीं थे, आज स्कूल्स हैं. देखिए, एक तरह से अगर हम इसको अगर और शॉर्टकट में जाएं तो इंडिया में सबसे ज़्यादा तरक्की यूपी की हो रही है और यूपी का सबसे मेन पार्ट नोएडा है. तो आज इंडस्ट्री भी एक नया डेवलपमेंट इंडस्ट्री का भी नोएडा में हर साल 2-3 नए सेक्टर्स का कट जाना बन जाना, ये भी अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा एक है जो कि एक शहर के बराबर होता है हमारे यहाँ. इस तरह से भी हम इसको देख सकते हैं. तो इंडस्ट्री तो यहाँ बढ़ ही रही है और इंडस्ट्री कोई भी यहाँ पर आ गई तो वापस नहीं होती है, यहाँ पर ग्रो कर रही है, लगातार अपने यूनिट्स बढ़ा रही है. ये इंडस्ट्री का हम लोग यहाँ देख रहे हैं लाइक दैट.
So Gaurav, when you started HCL here, when you guys came in here, the profile of jobs that you offered and the profile of jobs you're offering today, so how have you changed with this growing challenges?
The expansion of the skill orientation itself has grown in the last about 5 to 7 years. I see that in, till about 2033 to 2035. In the next about 10 to 12 years, I kind of see this growing at least about 20x, if not more, only because of the kind of potential that we are currently seeding in our academic institutions, in terms of our the skill generation that we are actually doing with the startups and the new generation technologies, right? And obviously coupled with how the government is kind of giving that push to that entire industry.
Thank you. And that's where we'll close this panel.
CRC developers hosted a knowledge forum to put the focus on Noida and its growth story. While the first panel threw up interesting insights on Noida's role in northern India's economic surge, the second discussion highlighted the impact of effective urban planning on Noida's sustainable growth.
We spoke at length about the potential. Now let's plan for that to achieve that potential. Let me start with you, Kunal. When you are on a high growth trajectory, there is a lot of impromptu planning, but there is also a very structured planning that went into it. Tell us what you see in the Noida, Gautam Budh Nagar area and how it will go into the future.
Basically, what has happened that the planning is the key for anything.
Right.
And the urban planning and the planning for the whole Noida is being taken care of since beginning.
Right.
So basically, whenever the city has to develop, it has to be developed from the roots. Any business has to be developed from the roots. If the
Right.
trunk is solid, then it can grow many folds.
Sure.
So the industry was the key for the Noida. And then after industry, the key was become the corporates and then the residential. So that has given the growth to Noida pretty lot.
Airports which have been far away from cities, take Bangalore, take Hyderabad, airports that were extremely far away from the cities, the airports took off and then the travel links happened. When you launch your airport, when the airport opens, do you think that all the transport links will already be in place?
So all those things are already being worked upon. So if you look at the connectivity, this entire region is seamlessly getting connected to the peripheral expressway and further to the Delhi-Mumbai expressway. It is also in proximity to the DMIC. And there is a fundamental difference in the airports of Bangalore or Hyderabad. The authorities didn't decide a new city. Here, a new city has been planned, where the government has a lot of focus and they are doing a lot of marketing for that region, bringing other infrastructures which can draw a lot of interest from all kinds of industries, like the film city, like the industrial parks, like the EV toy park, EV park, toy park, medical devices park. There's a lot of industrial activities pushed in that region by the state administration and the government. So that region is different from how peripheral of Bangalore evolved and how peripheral Hyderabad evolved. This is going to be totally different.
And I'll come to you, Bhupinder. Marketing of Noida. Does Noida need marketing when you talk about the corporate world? What are the kind of corporates who are looking at Noida and what are the kind of sizes they're looking at?
Let me come direct to the point. My job in my firm, I'm an opinion maker to the market. Who am I making an opinion for? I'm making an opinion for corporates who are non-Indian origin. I'm making an opinion for industrialists who have businesses in India and who want to expand and grow. But what we need to understand very clearly that our vision is not competing against Gurgaon. Our vision is not competing against a Bangalore or a Hyderabad. We have this opportunity where we can compete against a Singapore or probably a London, a SFO, something like that, because we've got next 20 years of runway. We've got a barren piece of land which has an airport in the center. And you've got the entire ecosystem around it. So in my opinion, we're just catching the bull by the tail probably.
Vidhi, I'll come to you. When an international investor comes into a place like Noida, which is futuristic, which is
Right.
just evolving.
Right.
What are the 3 or 4 main considerations? The quality of manpower, the availability of land, availability of buildings, infrastructure. What are the main things that they look at?
So I think for land, mostly they rely on the local partner. I feel that, because they can't really invest into land, so they rely on the local partner, infrastructure, and the sub-dollar rent, and the fact that there is skilled manpower. We are not a voice-based, call center-driven economy anymore. That kind of work is not something that we do. If you look at the GCCs that are being set up in the country, which means in Noida and in Gurgaon as well, most of them do high-skilled work. So they look for that kind of workforce. They want to see, are there enough residential catchments to be able to cater to that kind of setup that I'm planning. If I'm planning a 1 million campus, why do we see so much IT workforce happening in Bangalore and Hyderabad? They have that kind of workforce. They look at that aspect, that are there enough institutions. We spoke in the first panel that there are number of high quality educational institutions in Noida. So when they're looking at Noida, they're looking at one, infrastructure. Second, they're looking at the availability of skilled workforce and the rentals. And fortunately for Noida, all 3 work in its favor. Like I spoke about the rentals, they're still sub-dollar. So that makes a lot of economic and futuristic sense for most investors who are planning to enter the city as of now.
Right. Kunal, talk about Noida, Greater Noida, Gautam Budh Nagar, the growth and the influx of companies. The requirement is immediate. Today, I need to be here today. So how does your construction keep pace with that? Do you have more technologies that you use so that the speed of construction can go up?
Yeah, definitely. The speed of construction has been, taken care of pretty well, because in today's scenario, the precast structure is there, the aluminum shuttering is there. So it all depends upon you, that you want to make the structure in 14 months, 18 months. Earlier, if you went to Mumbai, they take 10 years to make that bridge. Now they are taking 3.5 years to make that bridge. Earlier we used to make in 60 months a structure and a building. Now we make in 30 months, we deliver the product. So here the timelines are only 33 months.
Oh.
So earlier, as a product like this of 2.4 million square feet, we took 60 to 66 months. Now we are taking 33 months. So divide by 2.
Yes.
So it's a great, tremendous, thing to see ahead, that construction has given a great growth towards the infrastructure.
Manak, in a very fast-growing space, you have more populations coming in by the day, right? There is a requirement of new population means new aspirations, new retail, new formats. So as a
Per capita income.
more per capita income. So how do you respond to that as a consumer brand?
We look at the overall picture of the infrastructure along with the per capita income spend of people with the resources that we have and as much as we understand, because when you grow only as a community. Similarly for brands, when we look for spaces in new places, I do not alone want the best space for my brand only. Mm-hmm. The business will flourish only if everybody grows in the same space, right? And for that, there has to be enough options to cater to different class and levels of people as well as the pocket size. Yeah. When it becomes only then it becomes self-sustaining, because it becomes a destination for all. And that is the only way of going forward. In last few years, what we witnessed, at least I would say that in what I have seen across the country, locations that come up with a short-term mindset, right? Which do not think thoroughly to make it a long-term destination, they actually fade away with time. Very few will stay, for long. Which also is actually against our model of sustainability, because आपने construction कर दिया, building up खाली पड़ी है 3 साल अच्छा चलने के बाद, तो it's a lot of wastage, right? So I think we all have to, and I think it can work better when we all, talk together. For example, as brands, we talk among each other. When we are evaluating new places, obviously we don't discuss कि तेरे को कितना rent मिला है, but we also discuss that what is your feedback about the location and what are your in terms in future, and we give our feedback to the developer also. Because it has to, and the understanding has to be clear. Is the development a destination development or is it a neighborhood development? Right. The planning has to be done accordingly. It shouldn't be an after effect of what you have ended up making, or rent utna nahi mil raha, isliye ab isse convert kar dete hain. So I think it has to be done a lot at the planning stage. At the same time, the traffic planning of keeping in mind the localities, the traffic prevailing in that catchment, All these factors put together, at least we consider.
Rajesh, I'll come to you. The same question that I asked Manik. When the per capita income goes up, when the quality of human resources goes up, when the quality of occupants, corporate occupants goes up, how does the hospitality industry have to respond to that?
Because hospitality industry is much, when per capital income goes up, they naturally looking for more professional approach, more spending, more socializing, and the where the hospitality will contribute to that. Second portion, hospitality is been set up just looking for one veteran say location, location, and location. Since Noida has already created the infrastructure, there are a lot of corporate which has moved, the high-end residential which is coming, and the hospitality, because when people are staying over there, they want to socialize, they want to meeting, conference, banqueting, marriage, there only. So this is the, when per capita income grows, definitely they want to spend on the hospitality aspect of it, or more socializing aspect of it, spending on the F&B or different infrastructure over there on that.
That's about the time when I'm going to say thank you to all my panelists and the audience for being such a wonderful audience. I haven't seen any depletion in the audience. Thank you so much.